Hey folks, JotoCast again, and no prizes for guessing what this video is about. Managed to get my hands on one of the new Mega Rotofury blasters, and we're going to have a look at this and see if we can make any improvements to said blaster. So let's get stuck into it. One down the bottom there. Actually, let's continuation. Okay. It comes with 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mega darts. So let's get this thing loaded up. Have a bit of a play with it. And see what sort of FPS it's putting out stock standard. Then we'll put it over the chrony obviously to test that. Then it's a very solid click to rotate the action to load the darts. The darts feel really quite firm in the cylinders or in the chambers. Make sure we've got them all in. Fairly light prime, easy to prime. I've heard a few people say that this little part here can be interfere with your hand. It's not terribly uncomfortable. Probably could be removed. Yeah, it could be. Don't know if I'd like the look of it if it was though. So, oh, geez, that actually hit with a bit of punch. Okay. All right. Well, let's set the chrony up. We'll put 10 rounds over the chronometer in its stock standard form. See what sort of FPS it's putting out in standard, and then we'll see if we can make some improvements somehow. The other thing I wouldn't mind doing to this maybe is seeing if I can fit one of my stock mounting blocks to it so that you can actually put a stock on it, because I reckon it would actually go alright if you could shoulder it, I reckon. Alright, let's set the chrony up first and we'll see what it's doing over the chronometer. Okay, so we've got the chrony set up, and we'll put 10 rounds from the new Rotofury from the Mega series over the chrony and see what it does in stock standard form. Okay, so we've got our readings there. That's our baseline. We'll put the average across the bottom of the screen just here. And now we will have a look and see what can be done mods wise to improve that FPS reading. Alright. Screws on this side of the blaster. Now, Okay. Yeah. Okay, so these are the internals. We'll pause on this and have a good look at them for reference purposes. Get some nice close shots so we can see what goes where. Not exactly sure what this mechanism is up here. Roger main spring. Catch rotary. What the heck is this scenario? It's a split between the two layers. They clip together. Oh no, that's no good. Like you'd be losing air through there for sure. Okay. Trigger mechanism. That's the spring for the trigger. Huh. Little plastic spring. Crazy. Decent sized plunger cylinder. I've got this slot here that I'm not fond of, so I might have to get rid of that. Now the front pump handles are actually captive. There's a nut on the, a screw in those that holds them in place, so they're captive onto the actual shell. So when you split, you undo the 4 screws in the handle. You have to slide the top one back to give you access to. So basically, it's like this. You slide it back to give you access to this screw to undo it. Sights and everything can come out. Barrel isn't rifled, but it's ridged. Not that that makes a difference in this scenario anyway, I don't think. Alright, let's go about pulling these parts out and have a bit of a closer look and see what can be done with them. This little guide at the top there as well, tabs. So, interesting to see what the actual, how the priming mechanism works. Let's see if I can mount the camera and see if we can actually hold it together and prime it to see how the action actually works. So okay, so it ratchets right back. And please don't ping off everywhere. Okay, it won't actually fire. Why won't it fire? Because there's no dart in it, maybe? Okay, something's obviously not pulling or aligning or what have you, because it's not firing. Release mechanism looks like it's this up the top here. Not sure exactly how this translates to fire the bloody thing. Alright, well, we'll have a bit of a closer look into this and see if we can't determine how exactly what works. See what we can remove successfully. I kind of want to disengage that spring though. Alright, hold on. Okay. That didn't disengage the spring completely. That did, okay. Alright. Let's see if we can work out what does what in this ensemble. Okay. Can we get the plunger tube out? No, okay. Trigger assembly. Come out one piece. No, okay. A couple of screws in the trigger assembly. Let's try undoing those. Now, there's no other Rotofury mod guides on. Watch that little spring. The track for young players. So I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. This is first, so bear with me. I dare say we're going to need that video of how things reassemble. So, okay, so you got your plunger tube, big ass plunger tube, twin pronged air restrictor setup, and it looks like the end cap is actually solvent welded into place, so you may be able to remove the air restrictor by demolishing it, perhaps. And you've got a bleed vent on each side of the main plunger tube there, which I might have a look at plugging in both of those. Now, okay. Wow. Alright, there's a little tab release at the top here. Let's see. Okay, that's releasing that. And there's one at the bottom here. So there's a tab at the top and bottom that will let the cover come off your trigger assembly, which is geared, so be very careful what you're doing there, because you've got gears in there. Don't know if you can see that. See if that helps. So just be very careful, you don't want to stuff the timing on your gears, etc. That might be something that we need to make special note of. It's just on the last gear at the moment there. I'm just going to remove this carefully. Okay, pop this out the way. So that was in there like so, and your trigger catch spring goes on top. Still don't know how the hell that's supposed to disengage anyway. Alright, we've got screw in the back here that may be, it's in the back piece there, as you can see. So just undoing that to see if that releases our plunger rod and plunger head. Okay, you've got to pull the plunger tube forward a little bit and then that piece will come off, and then that does appear to release the plunger, but it needs to be manipulated out. You need to relieve the spring and then roll it out. Okay, now it is a reasonably long spring. It's probably similar to what's in the Magnus. The plunger head assembly, it's got a fair bit of dead space involved on it there. We might have a look and see if we can fill that dead space. It's padded on the front. O-ring seal, let's see what the seal's like on it. It's pretty loose. It only seems to sort of engage probably 3/4 of the way down. So we might whack some tape under that and see if we can't use a little bit more of the plunger tube than what is currently being used. I reckon it's only getting decent compression for the last centimetre. So yeah, okay, so we'll try that. We'll try getting this air restrictor out. I'm going to plug up these holes either side of the plunger tube here, increase the seal from the O-ring, and fill this dead space, and then we'll come back and we'll see how we're going there. Okay, so in preparing the plunger head, I've increased the seal on the O-ring by putting a little bit of tape underneath it, and just by lucky coincidence, one of the padded leg stopper things that I got in that kit that I've mentioned before in my other videos happened to be exactly the right size to fit on the plunger head. So it's basically eliminated all that dead space that was in the plunger head and given me a new foam seal on the plunger head at the same time. So that was just pure dumb luck. So look, what I'm attempting to do with this blaster is I'm not increasing the spring tension or what have you. Essentially all I'm going to do is try and increase the efficiency of the blaster. Basically trying to eliminate air leaks and increase the seals, etc., to try and achieve better FPS through better use of the air that's being delivered. So the other thing I want to do is have a look at the back of the cylinders here. Looks like the dart posts can be clipped out and what have you to open up those sections there and see if we can increase the airflow at the back of the darts as well, so that there's more air being delivered and the efficiency in which it's being delivered is increased also. I've epoxy resined these slots on the tube. As you can see, what I've done is put tape on the inside to seal up the inside, then put epoxy resin on the outside of the slots, filled them and just did a little bit of a lip around the outside to seal those slots to hopefully increase the air pressure and delivered by the plunger tube. The other thing I want to do is I'm going to rip that air restrictor out, and see how we go with that. Alright, that's where we're at for now. I will come back and we'll as we make a bit more progress. I'd like to see if I can maybe source a stiffer spring as a replacement for this, so might take that with me, head down to our Masters or Bunnings and see if I can find something that can replace that and give it a bit more oomph. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, so I apologise, but I sort of got pressed for time and I sort of had to surge ahead and get this thing back together. Now, I went through and I ended up actually putting in a Orange Modworks Retaliator spring, but I had to cut about 1 inch off it so that it could compress enough to actually fit in. I resined up the 2 slots either side of the main compression cylinder, increased the O-ring seal, got rid of the dead space in the plunger head and put the plate on the front of that. I managed to get all the gearing and everything to go back into place as it was, thanks to going back and having a look at the first part of the video that I shot. I took out the dart posts, which are all here. They were all clipped out, and opened up the back of the cylinders. I clipped the air restrictor. Basically cut that apart with a pair of little side cutters and pulled that out. So the air restrictor's gone. The back of the rotating cylinder's been opened up. The dart posts are gone. The O-ring seal, yeah, you just heard it. Okay, I just told you everything that I've done. Okay, now it is firing. It seems to be shooting pretty good. I'm not sure what sort of FPS it's doing. So what we'll do is we'll bring out the chronometer and we'll put it over the chrony and see what it's doing now compared to what it was doing. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how that compares to what it was shot originally. I'll have to go back and have a look at the FPS readings. I'll put an average now at the bottom of the screen here. And yeah, if you could find a better spring, like I'm assuming the one that fits into the Magnus would also fit into this. And therefore, if you could get the blaster parts that do the modified, the heavier Magnus spring, put one of those in here, and I think you'd actually see some good improvements. So, all right, there you go. That's my Rotofury mod, I'm not sure what the improvements was. As I said, I'll put it up on the top of the screen here, how many feet per second we managed to get in difference. And once again, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you on the next mod. Cheers.